everyone, so I am long overdue for an update video. It's just a lot has been going on, and throughout this video I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be transparent, and I'm gonna be raw, and you're gonna get where I'm at right now, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything because I just can't. A lot of you have been asking me questions of how are you feeling today? How's recovery going? It has its ups and downs. It's definitely been a roller coaster ride. I have really high highs and really low lows throughout this whole journey. And pretty much if it could go wrong, at this point, I assume that it will go wrong because that's less disappointing than getting my hopes up. But otherwise, recovery itself, of me healing, I couldn't sleep for the longest time. I would say probably the first 2 weeks, and I'm just now getting back into a normal sleep cycle. The past 3 nights, I think it's been, I can actually sleep through the night. I've weaned off most medications, except for today I had to take a Percocet because the weather outside gave me a horrendous headache, and I'm just now feeling like I can get out of bed and do things, and I've pretty much wasted the whole day. So yeah, but otherwise it's okay coming off of steroids. It's like coming off of street drugs, but I'm finally starting to feel back to normal. I'm trying to wean off of the Keppra. I think that's why I'm still kind of a monster. Or it's just where I'm at, or it's just who I am now. I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. And then the other question that I've been getting bombarded with, and people have kind of stopped asking because it's been that long, which is why I'm doing this update video. Yes, I've gotten my pathology report back. I've sat on this info for quite some time, but it's taken me since April 4th of when I unofficially found out what my tumor is. I've learned a lot over the past few weeks of it, and I finally feel like I have enough information, and I'm kind of on the track that I'm gonna be to share with all of you. And so April 4th, I unofficially found out that I have an anaplastic astrocytoma grade 3, which the difference between grade 2 and grade 3 is that grade 3 is brain cancer. So I have brain cancer. And at that point in time, I didn't know the magnitude of what that meant, but I certainly do now, which is why I said I'm being transparent and raw, because I'm not handling this as positively as I was in the last video, because in the last video I was assuming that this was going to be benign, and I thought my hardest part was getting through the brain surgery, and I was scared of that because I thought that recovery was going to be hard, where in actuality recovery is amazing, but treatment is a trip in and of itself. So going back to what I have, the anaplastic astrocytoma, which I'm sure not many of you have heard about. I know I didn't really know about it because who sits around and studies brain tumors? Not very many people, unless you have one. And that's me. So what that means literally, anaplastic astrocytoma means poorly differentiated, poorly differentiated supportive tissue. Astrocyte literally meaning star-like cell. And so Dr. Fabi couldn't just remove the whole tumor because he didn't want to compromise who I was, but I'm assuming because of what the cells are. He wasn't going to get all of that because, well, not only because they're cancer cells and they're messy anyways, they don't shape right, they're just different, which if it were an encapsulated tumor, that'd be a different story. It'd be way easier to remove it, but it's not. And those fingerling projections make it so it's even harder to get all of the tumor, even if he wanted to, which he couldn't because it started to go back into the speech center, the Wernicke's, and the Broca center. And then I think it also would go into the motor cortex, but I'm not sure. So he wasn't going to get all of it anyways. And as a reminder, my tumor was about the size of a lime, I believe, and only a quarter of that got removed. So if you think of a lime and you cut only a quarter of it off, in relative terms, that's not a lot. But it was an aggressive approach because I had a lot of swelling, so to make more room, knowing that my brain would swell after surgery, it gave it a little bit more room, and it gave it more room in general during treatment and everything else. So yeah. I also they test for different mutations within the tumor, and they test for IDH1 and IDH2, and so what makes my tumor a little more unique in a Lynch syndrome patient is that I have both IDH1 and IDH2, which I was told was a good thing because it responds better to drugs for reoccurrence and treatment. But as a Lynch syndrome patient, I can't have the TMZ drug, which is standard protocol. Typically, you would get 30 weeks of radiation, or 30 weeks, 6 weeks, 30 treatments of radiation with the chemo. But since I have Lynch, I get 30 treatments without chemo, and then it'll be followed by, instead of TMZ, it'll be CNUU, or CCNU, sorry, because of what I have. And so I didn't want to do chemo at all, but it makes sense to do it because long term, people who do both have a better chance of survival. And so I'll be doing the 30 treatments of radiation and the 6 cycles of chemo, which means my treatment plan is going to be 42 weeks. That's 10 weeks shy of a year. And as somebody who was making plans after college, I wanted an internship somewhere, and I wanted to travel out west. And I just wanted to do a lot of things. I wanted to eventually leave my current job, and I wanted to get a big girl job and get out in the field. And though at the time I didn't know what exactly that meant, now I don't even get the option. I'm stagnant. I have to be here for a year going through treatment. None of this is what I wanted, obviously. I don't know who plans on getting cancer because none of us do. But I certainly didn't think that at 22, almost 23, I would be dealing with a diagnosis only a year and a half after finding out that I have Lynch syndrome, and thinking, okay, now I have to screen more. Not thinking that I would be dealing with something so soon. And a year and a half really isn't that long. I mean, kind of. But nobody plans for this. It's not something that I put on the calendar like I do everything else right now because I can't remember things. I know that this is happening for a reason, but sometimes the greater plan is a little hard to see. And right now, I don't understand. I don't get why this needs to happen. All I know is that it's happening. And there's nothing I can do about that. It's happening. It's already happened. I'm in the midst of it. This is the dark moment before the dawn, is the way I would like to look at it. But I feel like I'm trying to beat a clock, and I just don't have time. I have a lot on my plate. I'm trying to scramble to finish on time for school because that's important to me. And then it's time for treatment, and I don't know, with everything that's going on, if treatment will even have to start before graduation, and it's filled with doctor's appointments. And then because I have to do the chemo, most likely I won't even have the chance to have my own children unless I do something about it beforehand. And when you're told that you don't get a choice and you have to make a decision like now to plan for your future because you don't know what your future holds, it's just one more thing that's on the list that I have to scramble for. Treatment needs to start as soon as possible, which means treatment needs to start at the end of May. And I'm sorry. And when you just find out that you do want to have a kid, at least just one, and then you're told essentially that unless you do something like egg harvesting or something, you probably won't have kids. And I've been thinking a lot on that, of is it truly fair to have kids right now? In the way that the world is, in the sense of it's a 50-50 chance if my own child gets Lynch syndrome, and here I am at 22, almost 23, and I'm dealing with a brain tumor. I don't want to see my child go through that. But I also don't have a life partner right now. And I don't have somebody to help me make this decision. So I don't know, do I do anything to try and at least have the option so I don't look back and say I should have done that? But then I don't know who I'm ending up with. And if they want kids of their own, I literally wouldn't be able to give it to them. And when you're faced with that decision right now, when you don't even have a boyfriend or anything, and you're not even really thinking of that because you have to get through the next 42 weeks, and then you can try and pursue your future, it's literally, I don't want to say it's not fair, but it's not fair. It's not. But again, I think this is the darkness before the dawn. This is my life getting harder so it can get better. And I've always said that I've wanted to touch others' lives in some way, shape, or form. And I guess I kind of got what I wanted in a messed up, weird way. I don't know. I can only make it through the day and then try and get through the next day. I'm literally living day by day. My time spent at Olivet College, which I haven't graduated. People have thought I've graduated. I haven't. That was just honors convocation. Commencement is May 20th, and I hope I feel well that day because I will be walking across that stage no matter what at 1 o'clock. So be there if you would like to be. It's 1 o'clock at the Cutler Event Center. But my time spent at Olivet College, I was a part of Colleges Against Cancer. I was president for 1 year. And now going through this, I will be an advocate for it. So I would like to get together a relay team. And I also need to fundraise for myself because bills are already racking up and I don't know how I'm going to pay for them because I'm not getting paid right now because I technically can't be at work. I haven't felt well enough to even get through a shift. When I do go to school, I feel so worn out and I've only been there for 2 hours, so I can't imagine having to be somewhere for 8 hours right now. So I have designed a t-shirt, which I will link somewhere. I think it looks cool. Buy my shirt, raise awareness, wear it around whatever, because I'm sure most people haven't heard of what an anaplastic astrocytoma even is. And so I've told you what it is, and you can tell other people what it is, or they can look it up. So yeah, and then there's supposed to be a class reunion for class of 2012, and I hope to see some of you people for a relay team. I hopefully will be able to make it. We'll see how I'm feeling, but if not, I hope that somebody can be a part of that and show up and walk. I'll figure it out. I just have a lot to figure out right now. But that's my update. It's long, but at least it was cohesive this time, because I've tried to record this several times. But yeah, so this is my update, and then through treatment and everything else, I will continue to update. So that's all for now. Buy my shirt and let me know if you want to be a part of my relay team. So yeah.